Hi, Larry Kruger with another session of Ask the Expert. Today I am going to explain why, in my opinion, movers get a bad rap, particularly in the relocation industry. Any survey that you see usually has a lot of emphasis on the moving piece, and where there's a frustration level in there that the services aren't being performed properly or what have you. The moving piece always seems to show up as a major concern for most corporations. And the industry catches a lot of flack. And I'm going to explain to you a theory I have. There's an article on my LinkedIn page that kind of fleshes this out a little bit. A theory that I have called the relocation frustration volcano. And it's kind of similar to, if anybody's familiar with what's referred to as a pain pyramid, where the least amount of pain is on the bottom. As it gets higher to the top, it gets more painful. Well, that's the same with the relocation frustration volcano, only we're talking about frustration. Now, real quick, a scenario: you have an individual that you're courting to move to a new location. They've not asked for the position. They're not on any kind of a grooming trail. The person is strategically needed in another location. So at the bottom of the pyramid, the individual is sold the opportunity, how wonderful the city is, how great it is, how we're going to take care of the entire relocation, that we're going to sell your house, we're going to move your furniture, we're going to help your kids in the school and into the system. And it's all planted down at the bottom of the pyramid as the initiation. Now that individual has to go back to their family and sell their spouse and their kids and the dog on moving, uprooting everything. Still one of the top 3 most stressful things we ever do in our lives is move. They go back and they pitch the entire program and how wonderful it is going to be. Hey, and they even have a relocation policy that's just going to be dandy. Enter about here the relocation management company and the actual policy. And the policy may not be as rosy as was painted by the recruiter. And that is coupled with the stresses of trying to organize all this, and they're still in a decision making. Did we make the right call on this kind of mode? The reality sets in and the real estate for sale sign goes up in the house. The mover comes in and kind of does a survey, and you're going to need 60 days storage, but the company only pays for 30 days storage, and the house was assessed for under what you thought it was going to be assessed at, and you may lose a little bit of money, and everything's getting a little more inconveniencing. And the magma is rising. The magma is rising. Then when it's closer to move date and everything is getting a little closer, the communication kind of breaks down. You have certain needs that the corporation is not going to address because it's outside policy, and you're having all these discussions. And then right about here, the mover comes whistling into your driveway 30 minutes late. And that is where the valve is. The mover is the face of a faceless service. Maybe the realtor, but they're the individuals that catch the magma. We get the blast, and all of the things that have culminated up to that point explode when the actual physical move starts to happen. Why? Because we're at the top of that pyramid. As I say, we're a face in a faceless process. The market is the market. The real estate loss might be the real estate loss. That's what it is. The school is on the other side of town. That's no fault of anybody. The RMC is just keeping, restraints as per policy. Now, the corporation could do a little more for the individual, but they're basically faceless as well. And the mover, the whistling down the road, gets to the location, and whatever the little problem might be, catches it big time. And the theory, the relocation frustration volcano, is something you may want to keep in mind when you're taking a look at our industry. Because with all of the challenges we have with capacities and the logistics of the organizations and the high touch situations that we walk into, most of our drivers are marriage counselors on top of being drivers. So when you're looking at these statistics, keep that in mind. The relocation, frustration, volcano, hug a mover. We catch a lot of magma. It's not always our fault. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. You can check out the article on my LinkedIn page. And if you need a mover, give me a call.